Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Hey, hi, how are you all doing? How's it been? Good? Wonderful. This is Mike Said It First. It's not live, but this is what's to come on the show. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Usually Mike Said It First airs on Zingo TV and 12-ounce Sports every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern to 1 o'clock Eastern. A 30-minute show right after Pete's Power Plays and right before the World Hockey Report with Cody Jansen. This show is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. When you go to MyBookie.ag, enter the promo code 12-ounce Sports. That's 12OZ Sports, all caps, no spaces, for up to a $1,000 first deposit bonus. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Also, 12ouncesportsnetwork.com/Amazon. It costs you nothing and takes you straight to Amazon. It just gives guys like me credit for, sending you there. As I mentioned, I am Michael Carvelis, and this is Mike Said It First. So, what have we missed since I've been gone? My last show, if I'm not mistaken, was right after the Super Bowl. That was a very stupid game. I've been on record by saying I felt like the Buccaneers won, not just because they were better, but because the refs helped them quite a bit. Every chance the Chiefs had to win or come close to getting somewhere, the referees would call a stupid penalty. I felt like if I was a defensive player on the Buccaneers and I heard all about Tom Brady, I'd be pissed and want out. But thankfully, rings, can help with that and make you, want to come back, which is why they're returning all 22 starters. But I was mad at that game, but it was not the main reason for my hiatus. I was waiting for a little vacation, and I think I took a long enough one. It's been about 2 months. It is now April 21st, 2021. That's 420 plus 1. I love saying that kind of stuff, like little stupid jokes for no reason. So I've also switched jobs in between then. I went from my normal cashier job at Dollar General, don't recommend working there ever, to a new security guard job at a local hospital. It is much more laid back, much more easygoing, much more consistent schedule. during that time, I've worked nights, and I'm still working nights, which means certain times in the day, I will be super tired. One of those times is after working Saturday night to Sunday morning from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and I end up having to go to church that Sunday morning. I don't want to do a show on Sunday after church. I'm exhausted by that point, and it's time for me to go to bed. Hence why I'm having a new 30-minute show, Mike Said It First, on 12 Sports and Zero TV Channel 761. Now, let's get to the first couple things that I want to talk about within this 30-minute time frame just to get me back going. Again, this is not live. As you can tell, we're on YouTube, but it's okay. This is what the show will be like when I come back, with a few extra things I'll put in there. LeBron James and Anthony Davis have been out for quite some time. The Lakers, of course, came off of the pandemic and the NBA bubble as NBA champions, beating my Miami Heat, but it was bittersweet because I'm also a LeBron James fan because I am a Miami Heat fan. The Miami Heat struggled a little bit, but they have come back stronger. They traded for Victor Oladipo. I'm very happy about that. He has not played much due to some injuries, but I'm excited for the future of Miami. I think Oladipo, who's compared to Dwayne Wade coming out of college in Indiana, I was very excited to hear about that, and I've always wanted him on the Miami Heat post Dwayne Wade. And now Victor Oladipo has got some showing up to do, but of course, we're slowly allowing fans back into arenas. It's okay for now. The Los Angeles Lakers have been hit with the injury bug hard. Now, I did personally love the fact they got Andre Drummond by a signing thing because the Cavaliers got rid of him. I thought it was weird that he went to the Cavaliers in the first place. He might have been planning this whole sign and go out thing, this whole buyout thing from the beginning. And it makes sense. Andre Drummond is a monster in the paint. He's going to help the Lakers so much. I cannot wait to see when LeBron and AD finally do come back. AD, of course, I wouldn't rush him back because the Achilles is not anything to play with, as we saw Kevin Durant, which I'll talk about very soon. But LeBron James also had an injury. And for those of you saying, oh, well, LeBron James is getting old, no. Solomon Hill fell on LeBron's ankle. If it was Kevin Durant or Michael Jordan or anybody else, or Jesus Christ for crying out loud, he would have broken his ankle or hurt something on his ankle. So this whole notion that LeBron James is just getting older, listen, the groin, you have a point, because that's years of wear and tear on the body, and the groin can tear and do stupid things. You have me on that. But an ankle injury where somebody just falls on you, that's not LeBron's fault. That's not old age. That's just what happens. It's not ACL. It's just an ankle injury. It's a freak play. Some people say it shouldn't have happened. I think Solomon Hill did not do any ill intent on the play. I don't care what the Lakers players say. I don't care what social media says. I feel like Solomon Hill look in the video, if you look at slow motion, he looked like he tried to pull back and he just couldn't do so. While the Lakers have been doing their thing with Andre Drummond, the Brooklyn Nets formed a super team, a super weak-minded team. I've been very vocal about Kyrie Irving. I do not appreciate Kyrie Irving for what he has done to fans to the point where if he was depressed, why would the NBA dock him entire game checks? The NBA has more sympathy than that. They've done a lot. They let players wear slogans on the back of their jersey for Black Lives Matter during the bubble. The NBA knows what it's doing. They investigated the situation. Turns out Kyrie's a liar. He's still missing games just because. Just because. Kevin Durant's been injured. He got re-injured again in the loss to the Miami Heat early in that game. James Harden is now out indefinitely due to a setback on his hamstring injury. Even if they were healthy, the Brooklyn Nets would not win the NBA Finals. They would have a good shot. But just like the Clippers last year, fragile egos do not work. Now, people say, well, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. Yes, he joined an already functioning team. This Brooklyn Nets team has literally thrown together a roster. Yeah, you got guys like Joe Harris still there. But they got rid of a bunch of guys like Jared Allen. Spencer Dinwiddie's hurt. Steve Nash is now a head coach instead of Kenny Atkinson, who should have been there. But Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have better plans. This team has not played together enough. James Harden cried and fatted his way out of Houston. Now he's injured again. This team, even if healthy, would not have won the championship. We have seen too much in NBA history how people throw together teams, especially here recently. The reason why the Lakers and the Miami Heat were so good last year in the bubble, chemistry. And chemistry is huge when it comes to basketball. It's not just about being really good at basketball. And now it seems like if you put LeBron James on any team, they're going to win. But again, they're already there. When LeBron and Chris Bosh with the Miami Heat still kept their roster. There was very little change they made to that roster. Mario Chalmers was still there. Udonis Haslem is still there to this day. So do not get it twisted. Chemistry matters in basketball. It happened last year with the Clippers. It's going to happen this year with or without the injuries to the Brooklyn Nets. Would they make the NBA Finals? That would be something. They have too much talent not to come close to it. But I don't even know if they would make it. Fragile egos, and you have the chemistry's not there yet. No matter which way you want to twist it, there's no chemistry. And Steve Nash is a new head coach, and we still do not know what he's going to become. There's a lot of guys who become really terrible head coaches, but they happen to be good players. It happens. Also, Chris Paul deserves some praise. You know, Chris Paul has been dogged a lot his entire career for not showing up in the postseason, kind of like James Harden. But I've noticed that last year, he dragged the Thunder to the playoffs. You see how the Thunder look now. And this year, he's got the Phoenix Suns, despite injuries to big-time teams. The Phoenix Suns are pushing for a first seed. That's incredible. They literally added Chris Paul. That was basically it. Chris Paul was added to that team, and next thing you know, they're an immediate contender. Now, you can see whether or not they are, what's the word here? Whether they're legitimate threats or not to other teams, but the Phoenix Suns are no joke. So we have to give Chris Paul credit. It's very rare I don't know if I've seen this before personally, I'm only 24, but it's very rare for a player to have such bad success in the postseason and literally strengthen his legacy as he gets older. This dude has been doubted for so long. There has been some guys who say that nobody wants to play with Chris Paul. The last 2 years alone have shown to me this guy should be moving up ladders of greatest players and greatest point guards of all time. The numbers are already there, especially in the regular season. But Chris Paul is showing us he ain't done yet. Even if he never wins a ring. Best player to not win a ring? It could be a thing one day with Chris Paul. Let's talk about two players who have had sensational seasons or little stretches here. The first one I'll talk about is Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is a guy who scored 10 3-pointers made 4 times in the last 8 days. Like when this show is recorded. 4 times in the last 8 days. That is one less from the record of his teammate Klay Thompson for an entire career of 10 3-pointers made. Steph Curry has been incredible this season. I predicted on Mike Said It First before the season started, because there would be not many fans and it would just be like backyard basketball or in the gym, Steph Curry would go off. There have been times when I wonder why Steph Curry has not gone off as much, but Steph Curry, this little stretch recently, I don't think he should be in the MVP conversation because his team's not in the playoffs. And to me, if you're an MVP, I don't care how bad your team is. You have to at least make the 8th seed. I don't care what anybody says. LeBron James has drugged people before. Russell Westbrook did it with the Thunder. Whatever's necessary, do that. But Nikola Jokic is the MVP. As for Zion Williamson is showing us why he was the number 1 pick in the draft. Is RJ Barrett getting better? Sure. Is Ja Morant better than we thought he'd be? Absolutely. But Zion Williamson is everything people want him to be and more. He has shown the occasional ability to hit a three. He doesn't take a lot, but he still makes them at an efficient rate. His rebounding is not the best, but he had 7 rebounds in the night against the Nets, and he led the team in rebounding with 7 rebounds. So obviously it's not a Zion issue, it's more of a Pelicans issue. I feel like Zion Williamson is showing us no matter what you put in front of him, he's going to roll you over. This is not the doubters of college. This is not high school mixtapes. This is Zion Williamson rolling over NBA players. I have said from day one, since I first saw the kid, he has the potential to be everything we want LeBron to be, but better. Now, is he going to be better than LeBron and Michael Jordan? Maybe not. But his ceiling is so high, and his motor is so high, barring health. And I hate saying that, because obviously you're barring health. But barring health, Zion Williamson could be the greatest player of all time. He is LeBron James with that nice body, with the occasional jumper that he can work on later on in life. It's not broken. He can pass the ball very well for a big man. It's a double jump like a Mario. And he has a Michael Jordan killer mentality. He'll take over games late. Will he pass the ball? Sure. But this guy is who Michael Jordan fans wish LeBron would have been, or who they claim he's not. LeBron is clutch. Zion will take every shot anyways. Let's switch to football in just a second. We'll be right back. This is Mike Said It First. Welcome back to Mike Said It First via my YouTube channel, but a very proud partner of 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV channel 761. This show is also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. For your sports betting needs, MyBookie.ag. First time users, when you sign up, promo code 12 Ounce Sports, promo code 12OZ Sports, all caps, no spaces, for up to a $1,000 first deposit bonus. Nobody does it like MyBookie and 12 Ounce Sports. 12OunceSportsNetwork.com/Amazon is your place to be for shopping, whatever you're shopping for. Amazon is it. Jeff Bezos is it, although he's like doing his own thing now, like he's going to step down as an official executive. He's made his billions, okay? But 12OunceSportsNetwork.com/Amazon takes you right to Amazon, but we get credit. So thank you in advance. Let's talk about football, especially the NFL. There's been a few movements in the league. So I want to first get to, I talked about Carson Wentz before, but in case you guys have not heard my stance on him, I am very happy he was reunited with Frank Reich. Carson Wentz, I believe, is still a good quarterback. We went from being in all that Carson Wentz could drag a team to the playoffs to saying he's the worst quarterback in the league. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because he missed the playoffs this year, all of a sudden he's a bad quarterback. That doesn't make sense. He's still the same guy. It's not my fault Doug Peterson has not done squat since Frank Reich and Nick Foles left. That's on Doug. It's not on Carson or the Colts. I'm glad the Colts got their guy. Because the guy they drafted last year, Jacob Eason, is not it. Now, Deshaun Watson was the smoking hot topic of the NFL and sports shows everywhere. Until 22 women felt that they were compelled enough and wronged enough to come and say, well, this guy sexually assaulted me. Now, I'll be very clear. I do not mistreat women. I do not lie. I think guys who do so are stupid idiots who have really bad, fragile problems inside their brain. I will also say there's also such thing as being greedy and being a liar. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson is not a freak. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson has not been weird sometimes. But I'm saying I don't believe the allegations. I don't believe that he went over there and did those things and just assaulted these people and traumatized them forever. Because you read what they say, apparently they came back to him later on. So it looks like to me, massage therapists had some fun doing their job. Because, you know, when you're dealing with the groin and the glutes and the abdomen and the thighs, I don't care what anybody says, male or female, something will happen at your job. That's why I refuse to be a massage therapist. I've been told to get good massages, okay? But I would never be a massage therapist for a living. It's not my thing. And if you are one and you take offense to this, I'm sorry. I'm saying that job, especially with millionaire athletes who are willing to pay you for certain things, yes, it could be a thing where you have a lot of, you know, stuff that happens at your job, okay? So let's be very clear about that. I think Deshaun Watson is in a heap of trouble because of the public eye, but I still feel like he's going to be fine. Houston has been completely stupid with the whole situation. It's unfair to Deshaun Watson at this point. It's one thing if you try to convince a guy, hey, dude, you signed a contract. I've been one of the people that said, hey, you signed a contract, bro. Play it out. But also, Houston, if the guy doesn't want to play, leave him alone and stop being an idiot. Like, I understand that he was done for signing a contract and then immediately turning around. Good thing they didn't tell me the truth. Well, welcome to the world, okay? The real world of business, you get promised things you can't keep, okay? I've been told I'd be promoted to Dollar General. Never got that. Was I pissed? Yes. Did I stay there? Yes. So it was my fault too. Deshaun Watson was aware of the situation. He hadn't been lied to yet, but he was aware of how crappy the Texans organization was before. So why did you sign the contract? Just saying. Sam Darnold was traded to the Carolina Panthers. I think Panthers got a pretty good quarterback. No. Adam Gase is trash. Their running backs have not been in his existence because we saw Le'Veon Bell couldn't even do anything in New York. Frank Gore is like 55 years old. And I like him, but good Lord. They're trading his favorite target to Carolina, Robbie Anderson. Now he's back in Carolina. Sam Darnold is. I feel like Sam Darnold's going to do very well in Carolina. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but being a 9 or 10 win team in a 17-game season, sure. That's another thing the NFL has finally implemented, the 17-game season. It's whatever. We'll see how that works out. It's going to be weird saying 9-8 instead of 8-8. That's just the new norm in the NFL. Let's get to our final topic of the day. It's the NFL draft. And as you guys know, I love considering myself a quarterback guru. I love considering myself Mike Said It First. One of the reasons I got that name, because I was right about Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins. Just saying. So Zach Wilson's pro day was really good. I think Zach Wilson impressed me on his tape. I was not expecting much from the BYU quarterback. When I looked at his tape, I said, okay, who is this guy? Wow, he's good. He is a natural thrower of the football. He will fling it, and it goes to the destination. When he played at BYU, I don't care. He showed me things. He was not bad as a quarterback. I think he's pretty good. Why is there constant hate on Justin Fields? This makes no sense to me. Justin Fields went from replacing Jake Fromm, supposedly. Kirby Smart said, screw you. He went to Ohio State, did well there, threw bullets, has a beast of an arm, can run the football, and people say he stinks. I cannot understand why every year the NFL draft and these idiot experts and these anonymous quoters just say things about these prospects and everybody starts believing them. Why? You have eyes, use them. Like, we have all this hate on Justin Fields, but Mac Jones, who had all these wide receivers at his disposal, Najee Harris in the backfield, a Nick Saban defense, Steve Sarkisian to call his plays, and you're telling me Mac Jones is better? Mac Jones. If Tua, I'm not saying Tua's not, I think Tua's going to be fine. If Tua could not have first-year success like that, why would Mac Jones make the 49ers instant contenders? That makes no sense to me. Was better than Garoppolo? Well, God, I sure hope so. These NFL draft arguments happen every single year. You think the world's ending with some guys. You think the other guys are wonderful people. Turns out the people don't know what they're talking about. They ride the wave. They ride the wave. They do not make their own opinions. This is why Mike said it first. And for that, I'm out of here. But I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, April 28th, 2021, 420 plus 8. See you then. Mike Said It First airs now 12:30 Eastern to 1 Eastern, Wednesdays on 12 Ounce Sports. Adios.